Hello, hello, all you lovely people out there. My name is Deasia, and welcome back to the Dear Diary podcast. I can't believe it. This is the first episode. We have made it. We have officially made it. Yep, we're here. We made it. Pat on the back. Anyhow, I don't know if I should say excited, but I'm very amped about today's episode. Specifically because it's the first episode, but also because I like the topic. You'll understand in a minute why I like the topic. But today's topic is about perfection, and specifically perfection when it comes to accomplishments and work. Now, when I say that, I mean, for example, trying to come up with the topic for this episode, you would think wouldn't be hard, but it really was, only because I really wanted it to be perfect. I needed it to be just right, and I kept going through a range of different topics like gender roles, this, that, and the third, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it has to be like a banger. I need to like kick it out of the park, and not saying that this won't kick it out of the park, or maybe it doesn't, but the fact that I was putting so much pressure on myself to come up with what I thought was a perfect topic, and because of that I delayed myself in actually recording this episode, amongst other things. Don't just think that coming up with the topic was like the reason why I was procrastinating or struggling, but like it was a big thing. I don't know, just circling around different stuff, and I'm like, no, this isn't it, this isn't gonna work, I don't like this. But in all reality, it would have worked. It's just like I have such high expectations for some reason. I've always kind of had those, but I had such high expectations, and because of that, if I feel like what I'm doing doesn't meet that threshold, I can't perform in a certain way, and I think others will be able to notice that I can't perform in a certain way. So I realized like how unrealistic that was to think that I had to get it just right, get it perfect. And I've noticed that I do that with a lot of things, not even just this episode. I do that in a lot of areas in my life. I know when I was in school, I was a perfectionist. I won't even lie to you. Like it paid off in certain senses, don't get me wrong, but I think it also had a negative impact in a sense, just because when I got out of school, I wasn't working to get grades, because that was the reason for the perfection, was to get high grades, was to make my parents proud, to see others like smile at my accomplishments and be proud of my accomplishments. But because I no longer had that scale that I was trying to live up to, and I no longer had a reason, I guess, for the perfection, it was like I noticed that because there was nothing to measure it up to after I graduated, I felt like I wasn't performing to the best of my ability, and I watched my performance in a lot of areas in my life decline and decline and decline until it got to a point where I just wasn't performing at all. I mean, it sucked. I know, like, even now I still do that, but I'm aware of it. I'm very much more aware of it than I was beforehand. And so because of it, I try to catch myself and tell myself about it, but sometimes I don't catch it until I've already been like working towards a goal, and I'm like, no, this isn't working out the way it needs to be. It's not meeting a certain criteria, my criteria. And realistically, I don't want to say like, oh, like, living up to perfection is a bad thing, but it isn't necessarily a good thing either. It's such a toss up, I want to say, because it's not, I don't think there's a lot. Now, hold on, because I know this is going to sound weird, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to want to perform to a certain degree. But I think the bad or negativeness comes in when you have to hit the mark in every area in which you're trying to accomplish a certain task or goal. And that doesn't always end up being the case. I always feel like I'll be judged for not being able to perform or complete certain things to a certain degree. Like others will look down upon me and think like, damn, she could have definitely done better, or this is not it, sis. It's not given at all. And maybe that's partly true, you know, maybe others will, in fact, look down on me because we all are subjected to judgment at some point in our lives, and we all do dish out judgment. Whether we intentionally do it or not, we all do dish out some judgment, and we all receive judgment. It doesn't matter. Everyone that's just the way it is. Even though it shouldn't necessarily be like that, that's just the way it is. And because of that, it's like letting those thoughts and ideas kind of consume my head and interfere with what I'm doing, it holds me back. It definitely holds me back. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to attain a certain image that others want because it's not possible. It's not possible, realistically. It's not possible. You'll never be able to attain a certain image that everyone wants. Sure, if you're doing things for one person, you might possibly get close to attaining that image or get close to reaching that image. But if you're thinking about everyone, like, oh my goodness, all these people that might hear this or all these people that might see my work, 9 times out of 10, not everyone is going to like it. Not everyone's going to think it's good. Not everyone's going to, ride that wave. No, it's just not going to happen. But there will still be people who think it's really great. I think it comes down to our perspective is a lot different than other people's perspectives, of course. No one has mirroring perspectives. If we did, I think we would agree on a lot of things, but that's not the case. And because of that, because of the difference in perspectives, what you think is terrible might be actually really fucking awesome to another person and vice versa. So letting other people's opinions, feelings hold you back realistically is doing exactly what it said, hold you back. It's holding you back. It's holding me back. I could be putting out work that may not be perfect today, but might be perfect in a year because I've learned what works for me and what doesn't work for me. But if I didn't put out that work, if I didn't continue to perfect the craft, regardless of what other people think, I wouldn't be able to see that progress, and I wouldn't be able to learn what to tweak and what not to tweak and what I like and what I don't like. I can't think about what others like. Not everyone will like things. Not everyone will agree with what you have going on. So it's like, just, I don't know, let it go. But it's hard because we have social media, especially now more than ever, is there such a big presence in it all around. It's very easy to base your need for perfection based off of other people's lives when you can so easily look into their lives, or at least what they're showing you of their life. I all the time see so many women and even men. I look at the content that they show and I'm like, oh my goodness, I want to be like that. That's how I want to be. I wish I could be like that. The level that I'm at doesn't near their level. Like, I don't understand. How can their life look so perfect? Why is it so perfect for them? How did they reach that level? Did they unlock some secret cheat code that we just don't know about, or that I don't know about? But that's what they show. I've learned that it's not always like that. I think if you haven't learned that, take it from me. It's not like that. 9 times out of 10, it is not like that at all. Now, they may have the nice fancy cars and the money and the clothes, but there are so many other factors to what goes on behind the scenes in other people's lives. So it's just like, to base your accomplishments on someone else's accomplishments from what you see on social media, from what they present to you, it's very unhealthy. You can have the same goals, but it seems like they've somehow unlocked the cheat code and you have not. But realistically, not everyone is meant to do things the exact same way. There's a saying that I use in terms of looking at other people's lives and what they have going on, and it's not necessarily the greatest thing, but it does help me to put things into perspective in my own terms and to help me ground myself, so that way I'm not comparing what I have going on to other people. And it goes, everything that glitters isn't always gold. And you've probably heard it before, but like, it's really true. So I started using that saying a few months ago because I remember growing up, I used to think people around me had everything from shoes to clothes, new phones, accessories, this, that, and the third. And I used to think, like, why can't I have those things? Like, why don't I have those things, right? It wasn't until now, me, like, stepping into my adulthood years, I was able to actually step back and look at things, like, actually look at things for what they are, not for what I see, but for what they are, and realize just because people have certain items or are in certain areas of their lives doesn't mean it's necessarily the way that they portray it to be. And I would love to go deeper into that, and so maybe in another episode I will, but not everybody has the same things. If everyone did, things would be a lot different. So to compare what you have, to compare where you are, to compare your work to other people's work, is giving yourself this idea that if you do things the way that another person does, you will in turn receive the same rewards that this person has. And that's not the case. Your work and accomplishments are your own, and thinking about other people's opinions, their lives, anything that doesn't have to do with you is only going to hold you back from accomplishing and doing the things that are meant for you in this life. So stop doing it. And that goes for me as well. We have to stop letting other people's opinions, letting our own negative thoughts stop us from getting to where we need to go in life, and stop working to be so perfect. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is straight edge perfect. So we have to let go of those notions that we have to attain a certain goal. We have to be a certain way in order for us to receive certain things. What's meant for us will always be meant for us. The people that need to see our work, the people that are supposed to see our work, supposed to hear our voices, they're supposed to see people that we're supposed to connect to, they will find us. We will reach them. Those are the right people. And the people that don't, the people that we don't reach, they're just not meant for us at this time. And that's okay. You are not meant to please everyone, and not everyone is meant to please you. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know that was a lot. And I know it's kind of all over the place, but hopefully the point that I was trying to make does in fact get made, and that's that perfection does not exist. Maybe that would be a cool topic. Does perfection exist? I actually think I'm gonna write that down. But yeah, don't let that stop you from getting to where you need to go. Don't let that stop you from putting out your work, from letting people see you, okay? And I'm taking my own advice. I'm not letting it stop me from putting out work, from getting to the people that are meant to see me. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm so excited, so happy that I finally got this first episode recorded. I can't wait to record more and hopefully hear some feedback from you guys. If you guys did enjoy today's episode, make sure to give it a like on whatever platform it is that you're listening to, and be sure to check out the other platforms in case you want to hear this episode in different versions or audios, whatever the case may be. Check those out at Dear Diary Pod. Yeah, I guess that's the end. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode. Bye!